Beyond Meat recently announced that they're going to be doing something called a secondary public offer. And today we're going to look into what is a secondary public offer, how to participate in that if you want, and why ethical vegans might actually consider this a good thing to do. So let's cover the ethical question first. If you're a vegan and you're inspired by Beyond Meat and you feel that that fits in with your vegan ethics, then you would want to help the company grow. So let's look at how the IPO worked and why most people didn't get a chance to invest in the IPO. So the IPO was originally priced at $25. And the company, what they did is they created shares of stock and then they issued them through the IPO in exchange for cash. And this was a way of raising cash, which the company needs to use to grow its business. Now, once the company has been trading publicly, if you invest in Beyond Meat, what you're really doing is, you're holding shares of the company. Maybe you are doing that for, reasons that you want to be associated with the company, and but fundamentally, that cash goes when you buy shares on the public market. That cash goes in the hands of another shareholder. That money doesn't go into the hands of the company itself to grow. Now, with the secondary offer, there's a new opportunity to buy shares of stock, and that stock will be converted into cash, and now that increases the amount of money in the bank that Beyond Meat will have to grow. So if you want Beyond Meat to grow, this is a way to put cash into that. Now, is this a good investment? I'm not going to analyze the investment, but I will include a link below to a YouTube stock market analyst who I really like a lot because he cares about the things I care about, which is the kinds of companies like Beyond Meat and Tesla that are really transforming the economy. His channel is called Hyperchange, and I've been watching it for a while, and I enjoy it a lot. He discusses publicly traded stocks. I rarely do discuss publicly traded stocks because Vegan Launch is focused on providing the first and second round capital to the kind of companies that can grow into the future Beyond Meats in other disciplines. And I feel like we need hundreds of companies like Beyond Meat to turn this world around and straighten out all the social and environmental problems that we're facing. And Tesla and Beyond Meat are really cool examples of companies that are really transforming the world around environmental and vegan ethics. And again, is everything exactly perfect? No, you have to be your own judge of that. And I love Elon Musk, but he recently showed up to an event wearing tennis shoes made with python skin. So, I was a little disappointed. That's not vegan, by any stretch. But they don't use leather in the cars. Tesla doesn't use leather in its luxury cars. So, that's massive. But so is that perfect? No. Is he doing a lot of good? Yes. And what I really like about Elon Musk is he's demonstrating to the world how to really make massive change. And that's a playbook that can actually be used in many, many fields as long as the capital can be raised. And that's why I focus on raising capital, so that people who are visionaries who don't happen to show up with $160 or $180 million in the bank can get started now in doing that. So now let's get back to the topic at hand. So how do you invest in IPOs, or in this case, how do you get to invest in the secondary offer where you're giving cash to Beyond Meat in exchange for shares? Well, the way IPOs work is there are underwriters, and in the blog post that's going to be associated with this video, I'll provide a list of the underwriters. And you can find this easily online if you know where to look. You go to the NASDAQ website and search for Beyond Meat, and then you search all their securities filings, and you'll find there's something called an S1 that was issued a couple of days ago. I think it was July 29th. And if you scroll down to page 152 of that document, you should read it. It's interesting stuff if you like finance. Down on page 152 is a list of what's called the underwriters. And the lead underwriter is Goldman Sachs, which of course is one of the biggest finance companies in the world. But there are smaller brokerage firms like Bank of America and other smaller firms on there. And so the way that you get to participate in public offers is you need to talk to a broker at one of those companies. Now, first of all, let's look at what these brokers do. Their job, they're going to buy all the shares up from Beyond Meat, or they're going to organize the sale of these shares. They may not purchase them all directly. They're going to organize the sale. So they have a job to do, which is to pre-sell as much as they can. And so if you want to have access to the shares, you have to have an account at these firms. But it's not enough in general just to have an account, because especially the hot IPOs, those are often reserved for the premier customers. So you can look at this list of brokerage firms and you can start making some phone calls and see, call them up and ask them, what do I have to do to be able to access the Beyond Meat secondary offer when it is offered? And the actual date isn't set, but I would imagine that's going to happen pretty soon. So again, what's the vegan ethical reason to do this? Because if you do that, you're putting more cash in their hands, operating capital in the hands of Beyond Meat. That allows them to invest that money in growing the brand, growing the market, and the faster they grow, the faster that the whole plant-based, we'll call it the plant-based protein industry. To me, plant-based protein is like lentils. I don't really, personally, I'm not a consumer of much in the way of these kind of meat substitutes. But anyway, that's how you do it. And I can't say that you're definitely going to be allowed to do it. You'll have to check it out. But given that, they're going to be hustling to sell these shares. The brokerage firms are going to be hustling to sell these shares because there's, it's not quite the plum opportunity that it was to get in on the IPO. As you can see, the IPO at points, people who held shares at the IPO, price of $25, made around eightfold on paper. And in this case, we're not going to be looking for a big bounce from this. It's really, and again, I'm not even predicting what's going to happen, but I would predict that this is not going to precipitate a massive increase in the share price. The share price is already quite high by most of the standard valuations on Wall Street. So, you may remember my earlier video, I said why I won't be investing in Beyond Meat, but I didn't anticipate that they'd be doing the secondary offer. And again, I think that was also a very clickbaity title, because if you watch that video, you'll see why I wanted you to watch that video. It's because really the video is about investing in the first round, not in the IPO, how to do that, and why I'm so much in favor of vegans investing in early rounds. But in this case, here, again, why do I want vegans to invest in early rounds? So that vegan entrepreneurs can have the cash to do what they're trying to do. If we don't invest, they won't be able to do it. And as I say frequently, the companies we finance today, the companies we fund today, are going to be the cultural leaders 10 years from now, just like Beyond Meat was formed 10 years ago. So here, though, this is a special case. If you invest in the secondary offer, you'll be putting cash right in the hands of management of Beyond Meat, which they can use to grow the company faster than if they didn't have the cash. And so for that reason, if you feel that Beyond Meat is an ethical investment, here's a way to really make a difference for the company by actually putting cash in their hands. So again, I'm not advising on whether you're going to make money or lose money from this, but you will definitely give money to them. And I think that given their leadership in how much transformation they're causing in the industry and how much awareness they're raising of the notion that protein actually doesn't come from cows and pigs and chicken, that protein comes from plants, that message to me is valuable intrinsically, no matter what products they're selling. The fact that they are teaching this, and I don't really expect their competitors to push the envelope that hard. So, given given the gap between, cubes of truth and what goes normally, is considered, day-to-day operation on Wall Street, I think Beyond Meat is a big step in the right direction in that regard. And so the more cash they have, the more they can grow, the more they can lead, the more aggressive they can get in painting a contrast between what they're doing and what it means to be eating animals. And I'm for that, even though I'm personally not a consumer of their products, but I'm for the kind of leadership and the kind of way they're marketing to the non-converted, right? That's what we really, obviously, making the world go vegan means we need to address the needs of people who are not vegan yet. And they're doing that. So that's cool to me. And if you agree with that, read the blog post and follow the instructions, and hopefully you'll find a way through one of these brokers to participate. I'd probably start at the, unless you're already a multimillionaire, you can call it Goldman Sachs, you'll be fine, but they're typically very high-end broker. And then there's the secondary market makers, again, like Bank of America. I think Smith Barney's on the list. And there may be a place for you in this offer. So as far as I can tell, I've read a lot of news on this. Nobody else is telling you how to invest in the secondary offer. Here you go. And let me know if you do that. Thanks for watching. And if you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. See you in the next video.